All right, so you'll want to start meditating consistently. Maybe you're a beginner, maybe you've never done meditation before, or you've done like some guided meditations here and there or listened to some soundtracks, but you're ready to really get this thing rolling. You're ready to gain your focus, gain your clarity, stop letting people piss you off all the time and just brush it off and release those subconscious thoughts that are keeping you in mental bondage. Or maybe it's just not that deep. Maybe you're just like, I just want to do something consistent. That's good for my mind. Great. If you're either of these people, this video is for you. If you're struggling to find a consistent meditation practice and something that you can stick to, and you feel like it's because you're not disciplined, you might not be wrong, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all cracked up to discipline. There are some practical things that you can do day to day, especially for people with busy minds, that will help you be more consistent. In this video is how you do it. So I got a couple tips for you. Stay tuned. So here's why the power of consistency is real. Because you want a routine. Meditation is one of the most powerful and beneficial tools, in my opinion, as I've been meditating regularly for over 3 years now, every single day. It's one of the most powerful tools to help reduce stress, reduce anxiety, increase the amount that you can sleep at night, reduce fatigue, headaches, migraines, trauma responses, grief, just so many different things, and the possibilities are endless. But the first thing is you want to set a routine. The first step is that start small and build up gradually. So start with 5 minutes a day. Yes, 5 minutes a day. And when you start, decide to commit to that 5 minutes. Now, you might feel like that's a little too less for you, that you can do more. I would recommend this, especially for a beginner, because if you're just starting out, you're going to be taking up a little bit of your morning time. And you don't want to take up a large chunk of it at first, and then you skip one day because, oh, I had a doctor's office or something, I had a doctor's appointment or something like that. And then you end up skipping one day and that throws your whole routine off. So take a small chunk out of your day so that it won't impact your schedule a lot. And when you start out with that, you'll be consistent at it. Then after you show that you can be consistent with 5 minutes, then start to work your way up. The way that you would time this is I recommend setting a timer on your phone. Set one of those apps where you can listen to like some river flowing in the background or something like that. Or you could put a track on YouTube of like waterfalls or something like that, and make it only 5 minutes. That way you'll know when the 5 minutes is up, but you won't have a long blaring alarm like burp, 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 notifying you. Don't do that. Don't have an alarm, but just put it on a soundtrack and have it end after 5 minutes. Tip number 2 is treat your meditation like an appointment. Treat it like a doctor's appointment. Treat it like you're getting ready to go to, I don't know, school or something like that. Okay. Because you are, you're going to get schooled. It's going to teach you a lot of things, but you want to do what works, and what works for the body is having your body on a routine. You do things and stick to things and being consistent at things that you know you made a specific time in the day for. So schedule it out. I schedule my morning meditation in my routine. So it's every morning, and I do it at around, it depends on what time I wake up. Sometimes I wake up different times throughout the day, but it's a part of my morning routine so that after certain things that I do the meditation. But if you set a specific time and place for it, it leaves no other error of margin or margin of error, whatever, for you to miss out on it. So schedule it, make it a priority, put it in your Google Calendar, put it on the schedule. Tip number 3, have a dedicated space for it. This is key. When you have there's a Bible verse, and it's also like just a saying in general. There's a time and a place for everything. If there's an appropriate space for your meditation practice, if there is a dedicated space for it, then you'll do it in that space every time. That could be your car. That could be the corner of your room. That could be your closet. Whatever space you have, You designate that area as a sacred space to meditate every single time. And it also just designates it in your head so that every time you go to that specific area in your room or that specific space, you know what you're going to do there because your mind associates that physical spot with that activity. So it's just training your brain. Real simple. Tip number 4, if you're a beginner, use a guided meditation. Now, this can go along with tip number 1, as in using a YouTube soundtrack or a soundtrack that you just found online for 5 minutes, and then you know when the 5 minutes is up. This is really easy because it gives you a marker for how much time you're going to spend. And also it gives you something a little bit easier to focus on instead of just focusing on your breath or guiding yourself. If you're guiding yourself through the meditation, which is what I've learned to do over the 3+ years that I've been practicing regularly, I had to work my way up to that. But I first started out with guided meditations with somebody else's voice guiding me so that whenever I fall off or my mind goes out into whatever other thoughts or I need to make dinner or whatever, then I can bring myself back to that person's voice and they'll remind me that I'm supposed to be being aware of whatever the focal point of the meditation is. By the way, if you're not using a guided meditation and if you just want to meditate, let's say in silence, which is totally fine, you would want to focus on sound. It's one of the easiest things to do, honestly. So just close your eyes and then focus on what you hear. You hear a car driving by on the street. Do you hear birds chirping? Do you hear crickets outside? Do you hear kids playing outside? Do you hear kids playing downstairs? Do you feel the air conditioning? Not feel. Do you feel that too? But do you hear the air conditioning cutting on or turning off? Do you hear water dripping in the faucet? Whatever. There are so many different stimulatory things that you can focus on to enhance your focus in the meditation that are super, super simple. So one of the easiest things to do and the quickest thing to do is to focus on the sounds around you. Then when your mind drifts off or loses focus, just come back to the sound that you hear the most. Maybe it's your breath. Tip number 5, which goes along with a previous said tip of, designating a certain time and a certain space with your meditation. That is pairing it with a habit or habit stacking. Shout out to the book Atomic Habits. That book is a great example of what I'm talking about now because I got it from that book. Let's say every morning, your morning routine is wake up, make your bed, use the toilet, brush your teeth, wash your face, get dressed, eat breakfast. Put your meditation routine somewhere in between these 6 things because I guarantee you it will not fail that you consistently do it if you feel like you can't complete your whole routine without doing that one thing. Because if you complete a certain routine every single morning, then your routine is going to feel incomplete if you don't do part of it, right? So make your routine, your meditation practice, that's what I mean by the routine, make that part of your routine and make it non-mandatory by stacking the habits. So for example, you would modify this morning routine by getting up, making your bed, brushing your teeth, using the toilet, meditating, then getting dressed, then going to get breakfast. That way you don't get breakfast or coffee until you meditate. So the breakfast becomes sort of like a reward or like something that you get to do after you meditate. It just is a cue that you use to remind your brain of what you're about to do. And it just makes it a regular thing. I do it every single morning. It does not fail. And then the last tip is tip number 6 is let go of perfection. Perfection is the enemy. It's the opposition. Perfection doesn't need to be present in order for you to have progression. As a matter of fact, the idea that there is something to perfect is the exact thing that's going to get in the way of you progressing into anything because you're not going to be focused on your progression. You're just going to be focused on the fact that you still have thoughts. And if you feel like your meditation practice isn't good or you're not doing it right or you're not a good meditator because you're still having thoughts while you meditate, that's totally not true. Let's debunk something right now. When you meditate, You're supposed to have thoughts. You're supposed to get distracted. Let me say that. You are supposed to get distracted. That's actually the point. Because if you never got distracted, there wouldn't be anything to strengthen. Think about it. If you went to the gym and every time you go to the gym, you're not even feeling sore afterwards. You're not even sweating afterwards. What work are you doing? You just pumping lead, whatever they say. I go to the gym, but I don't say that. You're just doing stuff and you're not sweating. You're not feeling the burn. You're not feeling nothing. You're just, I guess I'm working out. There's always progression to be made, and the joy is in the journey to the destination, because there is no destination. You're just maintaining and gaining. So again, what did I say? We're supposed to have thoughts when we meditate. That's the whole point. Because when you notice that you're having a thought, that's where the strengthening your mind happens, because you just come back to the focal point, that sound, that breath awareness, whatever you're becoming aware of in the meditation. Got it? Okay, so conclusion, just start small. Keep it simple at first. Keep it easy. Make it easy for you to do. You're not disciplined. You are disciplined. You're not lazy. You are disciplined. You're not a bad meditator. You're not doing it wrong. You're not. Just keep it simple. Make it easy for you to do. Work smarter and not harder. Then you'll see the true power of meditation and what it can do in your life, and the fact that you can be consistent. Just start small and the rest will be up to you. So thank you so much. If you want to download my free guided meditation, it will be down in the description box below. And I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, I'm sending peace your way, love your way, enjoy to you, your family, and your friends. All right, y'all. Peace.